Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
There it is, says Alex in bright red letters. That's me. And the name of the show is The Ramble. That's in the white letters, and we go until midnight tonight. Here's a guy I really like talking to. That's Steve Kravitz. The reason I like talking to him is, A, he's funny, he's smart.
What?
And I'm hot for him. No. How you doing, Mr. Kravitz?
I'm doing all right. I went to a baseball game on Saturday.
Oh, really?
An inaugural season for the Worcester Red Sox.
Oh, that's probably a farm team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AAA.
Yeah.
We lost 18-1.
Oh, really? So how? Yeah. Well, but how was it? How was the weather and stuff? Was it hot?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh, it was beautiful. Okay. Because here it has just been unrelentingly hot and humid.
We were lucky we sat in the shade.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Because here it was, and then yesterday I'm walking down the street. I'm going for my walk, right? Walk, right? And it's beautiful. All of a sudden the humidity has gone away and the temperature has dropped 10 degrees and it's just beautiful walking weather. And so I'm strolling down the street, I mean, as best I can without feeling woozy and tired. But I'm walking down the street, and as I'm about halfway on my walk, my watch goes off. It says, alert, flood warning for Harlem. And it's at like 4:04 or something. It was like 2 minutes away. So I don't know. I kept walking. I said, half the time they do these things, there's never a flood warning. Okay?
Right.
So I keep walking. And I walk around, and I finally go. I stop into the Rite Aid to get some chocolate and stuff like that. And I come out, and it is torrential.
Really?
And I've only got a block and a half to get to home.
Right.
So I figured, what the hell? It's just water, right?
Right, sure.
So I start walking. By the time I got home, every inch of my body was drenched.
Like you went swimming.
One of those so bad that you can't get the T-shirt off because it's so wet that it's sticking to your body, and you have to have somebody help you out of it. and the same thing was true of my pants, and the same thing was true of my shoes. The only thing that was still dry were pretty much my socks, and that was it. And it was torrential. It was just I've never been in anything like that in a long time.
How long did it last for?
It lasted. I don't know. I walked for about 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes it was still going. So once I got inside, I think it started to slow down, and eventually it disappeared. But boy, it was that ever a mess. Oh, just incredible. So.
Dedicated to your walk. Good for you.
Yeah, well, so much for my walk. I did a mile. I couldn't go any further because, and it was so bad. I wear earphones, right?
Right.
I wear these Bluetooth earphones. Right. And it was raining so heavily, my Bluetooth earphones lost their Bluetooth signal.
Really?
And it's from my pants. That's where I'm carrying the phone. It's from my pants. And it lost it. It was just horrible. It was just something else. So I came home, took off all my clothes, and threw them in the dryer because I had barely used them at all. So I figured, what the hell,
Right.
I look upon this as a wash.
I agree with you.
What weather? I don't do well in humid weather. I hate humidity. Do you know anybody that thrives in humid weather?
No.
So really, I think everybody would agree that humid weather is the worst weather of them all. Right? Yeah. Because the other day I went out and it was like 90 degrees, but it wasn't humid.
Right.
And I'm just bump-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop, right?
Right.
It's fine. Next day, 90 degrees, humid. I walk out my front door and I go, I'm not going out there. And I turned around like it was a snowstorm outside. I turned around and came back in, So
Right.
no way I'm walking in that. So.
No, I wouldn't walk in that.
No. Oh, who's calling me on my watch? Nobody I know. You know how many phone calls? How many do you get robocalls, right?
Yes. Yes.
You own a car, right?
Yes.
I don't. How many of those calls says, by the way, your warranty is just running out?
Oh, yeah.
I get those all the time. And since I have nothing to do with my dull life, I figure I'll stay on the line and play with them for a while. So yesterday, some guy, I push 2 or whatever you got to push to get somebody. And I said, what's this all about? He said, well, your insurance is running out. I said, by the way, where are you calling from?
Right.
And he says, the Los Angeles area. And I said, okay, just so I can check to make sure you're legit, what's the name of the Los Angeles baseball team?
Right.
Click.
Really?
Yeah, I love playing games with these guys. I'll keep them on for a half hour and then I'll tell them, by the way, I forgot to mention, I don't own a car.
Right. You don't need a car in New York.
And I figure I'm wasting his time, but he's not wasting mine. I got nothing to do.
Well, maybe you should get a hobby.
Maybe he should get a hobby. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's my whole life with the
Spam calls.
The spam calls. Yeah. And I always get them when I'm doing a show here. And
Really?
I forget to turn off my watch. Okay, turn off the ringer on the watch. So.
Really?
Yeah. So. What the hell?
I don't have one of those fancy watches.
Yeah.
What'd that cost you?
This is a cellular version, so it cost me about $550.
Really?
But I can make calls on it. I don't need you normally with the Apple Watch have to have an iPhone,
Right.
so that it works off the iPhone. It sends signals back and forth through Bluetooth. If you have one of the cellular versions, I can leave my phone at home and I can call you,
Really?
and talk to you. Yeah. I can do any one of a number of things with it. I mean, I can.
What are you, Dick Tracy?
Well, I can do all the things that I would normally do if I had Wi-Fi. So, yeah.
You're Dick Tracy.
And it's good because I use it when I'm walking, I'd have it check how far I've gone.
Right.
And they're coming up with several new health features, one of which is a fall down feature. At my age, falling down is an eventuality. Okay?
Right.
Just, because you lose all sense of balance and things like that. So what it does is it checks your balance as you're walking, and it lets you know when it says, hey, you have a great chance of falling.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So that's in the new watch. It's not the new watch, but the new what they call operating system. And also it'll check my EKG. And the newer one, which I don't have, will check my blood glucose level or something. I mean, they're making this watch so it does more than just,
It's like a mini computer.
And it's also a mini health assessor. The only problem is that it says, you're close to a heart attack because your EKG isn't that great.
Right.
Then you go, well, now what do I do? Should I go see the doctor, or is this just my watch malfunctioning? You don't completely trust it. So.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I got to go in for a CT scan on Friday.
CTs are okay. They're easy.
Right.
I can't do, MRIs.
Oh, when they put you in the tube?
Yeah, I can't do that.
Really?
I've got claustrophobia to the max.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I can't do MRIs, but I can do CAT scans because it's not a tube. It's kind of like a donut, and that I can do.
Right.
And I figure all I need to do is maybe close my eyes. But man, I can't do an MRI. If they want me to do an MRI, I go, I'd rather die than do an MRI. Really?
Really?
That claustrophobic.
That much of a phobia, huh?
Yeah. I mean, if my wife hugs me too much, I get claustrophobic. Really, it's true.
Good night, everybody.
I'm a delight to be with, folks. I'm no fun at all.
Well, that's not true, and you know it.
Well, no, I have this guy staying with me, Albert. He used to be my producer here in New York. He's here with his wife. And yesterday we were talking, and I said, well, I guess I used to be more fun. He said, you never were fun. I can't name a day when you were fun. I said, well, I'll have to learn how to be fun.
You were fun when we did the radio.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's me performing.
Right.
And
much like all of us.
And I know that in spite of the fact that you tried to kill Clint Eastwood, you're not a criminal. It's called acting.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in fact, Albert asked me, I said I was going to do Steve Kravitz, do an interview with him. And he said, who's Steve? Because he never knew you from doing Sirius XM, because I wasn't able to find you at that point.
Right.
And I said, oh, yeah, he was killed by Clint Eastwood in a movie. And that is a good claim to fame, isn't it?
My first movie.
Yeah, and the car crashed, right? And everybody in it died. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Died in a flaming car crash.
Right. Who was it? Bruce Dern said his career was ruined after a film called The Shootist, which was John Wayne's last film. And it's the only film in the history of John Wayne's history that he got killed by anybody in the movie.
Really?
Well, it's all about a marshal or former marshal or guns fighter or whatever. Comes back to this town and he gets assessed with dying of cancer, that he's dying of cancer.
Right.
So that's what the whole movie's about. Ron Howard's in it as the kid who befriends him and so on and so forth. And in the end of the movie, he gets killed, which is kind of a happy ending in this particular case because he's so anyway, the guy who kills him.
He gets killed in El Dorado too.
El Dorado? Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that. But anyway, Bruce Dern killed him in that movie, and he said it hurt his career for quite a while because he was the guy that killed John Wayne. And John Wayne died shortly after that from cancer. It was his last film. It's a very good film, by the way, if you ever get a chance to see it.
What's it called?
It's called The Shootist.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look for it.
Yeah, yeah. The best Ron Howard film ever.
That I doubt.
Did they ever? Did after Clint killed you? Did he say goodbye?
Oh yeah.
Really?
He said, "Pleasure working with you." No, he said, "Nice working with you. Pleasure blowing you away."
Did he say that? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
And I was standing with some friends because we shot in San Francisco that scene.
Right.
And they were all there to watch me die. And then I was hanging out with them, and he came all the way across and to talk to me in front of them. So that was cool.
Sounds like he actually is a pretty nice guy.
He was a great guy. Best film I ever did.
Really? It was, and that one was called Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact.
Yeah, yeah. And it was one of the Dirty Harry pictures.
Right.
Yeah. It was like, I think, the third or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So.
And they weren't going to send me in on the audition. My agent wasn't going to send me in because they were looking for a thug. And everybody in the waiting room is dressed like a thug. And I'm just wearing my regular clothes, and I got the part.
Oh, boy. You must have been happy when you got that part.
Oh, I was thrilled.
Yeah, because that was your first film, right?
Right.
Right. And what was your second film?
Actually, I'm lying. My first film was Howard the Duck.
Oh yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You're trying to make out with a woman, and
Yes.
Howard the Duck comes and beats you up or something.
Howard the Duck comes flying through, and I go, "What the fuck?"
Okay, yeah. So
That was it.
that was your first line ever in movies is "What the fuck?"
Right.
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 And that movie I'm sure got you a lot of other parts.
Yeah. Right.
That is maybe one of the most reviled movies of all time.
Oh yeah.
You know, and every now and then I'll go back, I'll see it somewhere, you know, like on HBO Max or something, and I'll go, Howard the Duck, couldn't have been that bad.
It is.
And then I went to it, I watched it again, or tried to watch it. I only get about 10 minutes in. I don't even get to you making out.
Right.
And I'm going, this is just horrible. I can't do it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
They misplayed Howard the Duck.
Mhm.
Howard the Duck, you know, is a cigar smoking, hard drinking, womanizing duck.
right.
Right.
Well, and also in the cartoons, he was really a cartoon duck living in a human world.
Right. Right.
Yeah. But here's what happened. So my association with that film is they come to me and they say, listen, we need to get an audience over at the Warfield Theater on Tuesday because we're shooting a movie, Howard the Duck, and we need an audience to be in this rock scene. You know, it's a big scene, finishing scene in the film.
Right.
And they said, we'd like to get people over there, and you have a large audience. Could you like just hustle people to go over there and come on down and be part of the
Really?
film? And I said, sure. So we did a whole thing that day promoting it and saying, right after the show, I'm going over to the Warfield Theater. I want everybody to join me over there. You'll be in a movie,
Right.
okay? And I show up, and 500 people show up.
No kidding.
Place is jam packed. If you look at the movie, that's the audience. I got them. Okay.
Good for you.
And now I'm sitting there with the guy who is like one of the producers on the film. I can't remember who. Wasn't Lucas,
Right.
but one of the people associated with the film. And they come out and they got this guy in a duck suit, and he's prancing around doing some things, rehearsing, you know.
Right.
And I'm going, so you're going to take that person in the duck suit and you're going to replace it, because this was right after Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I think.
Right.
I
Right.
said, you're going to replace it with an animated duck, right?
Right.
And they said, no, that's the duck in the movie. And I looked back at him and said, you're in big trouble.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you.
Well, I mean, I wasn't making any money off the deal. I didn't need to kiss their ass, you know.
Right,
But I
right,
said,
right.
you're in big trouble. Because I said, you're not going to animate that duck?
Right.
And they said, no. And either it was before or after Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think it was after Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Same era.
Yeah. But if they'd only done that, the picture probably would have been much more successful.
Oh yeah.
But having a guy
Absolutely.
dressed as a duck just doesn't work,
No.
you know?
No. And like we said, they misplayed his character.
Yeah. But they used quite a few people from San Francisco. They used Monty Hoffman
Right.
in that film. They used you. Who else they used? Anybody else I know?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. But so that was your first actual movie.
And I got to make out with a very pretty girl.
Do you remember who it was?
No.
Really? She didn't become famous later on or something?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. All right. Now, when you were making out with her in the film, were you actually doing tongues?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm a porn star.
You sly little devil, you.
Well,
You know, today, if you did that, you'd be out of a job.
I'm probably arrested.
So you're sitting there tonguing this girl going, not bad job. It's not
No.
a bad job. No.
No, she right back, reciprocated.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And where is she today? Who knows? I could look up her name and I could find it for you. It probably is there. You know?
Really? You think
Well, if I
so?
look up Howard the Duck on IMDb, I'm sure your name is there.
I hope so.
Monty Hoffman's name is there, and I'm sure Girl Getting Tongued is probably.
But she had no lines.
Oh, well, then she didn't get a credit.
Right.
Right. Now tell them the one I love is you did a film called The Woman in Red.
That's right.
And that was with who? Who was the
Gene
woman?
Wilder and I think Gilda Radner.
No,
Gilda
no,
might have been gone.
no, that wasn't Gilda Radner. It was the lady in red, and the woman was. I'm trying to think of her name now. Oh well. Anyway, you did this film, The Woman in Red,
Right.
and we're very happy for you.
Right.
You got another movie. I think it was
Right.
shortly after
Sudden Impact.
the Sudden Impact, and we go to the theater, and you're nowhere in the film.
Never stood in front of the camera.
You never stood in front of the camera. You didn't even do the scene.
Right.
Right. What happened? They just said, we're not going to do it. Go home.
No, it got pushed back. And finally they said, we're just going to cut it.
Oh, okay. All right. So now you're really disappointed. But all of a
Right.
sudden, here comes the movie. You're in the credits.
Yes, sir. So I get residual checks.
Yes. Probably still get them to this very day.
Yeah, for like, 25 cents,
Yeah, that's right.
86 cents.
every year I make about $71 off Bill Maher.
Really?
Yeah, because I was the voice on the opening of his One Night Stand.
Really?
And of all the one night stands they always show Bill Maher's because he's currently got a show on HBO.
Right.
Right, so they keep
sure.
running that. Every year I get a check for like $71.
Well, it's better than not getting a check for $71.
Yeah, I mean, do you still get? You don't get checks for Howard the Duck, do you?
Sometimes from a foreign market.
Really?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, because I think Bill Maher every year has made me a little bit of money. Nothing to write home about. But
it's better than nothing.
yeah, it's better than nothing.
It's better than getting a bill for $71 every year.
Yeah, yeah. So, can you think of any other great film you did that you really enjoyed doing? He's thinking.
I really enjoyed doing all the films, to tell you the truth. Now, some were a little lower than B movies. I did a film with Eric Estrada and Michael Pritchard.
Now, if people don't know who Michael Pritchard is, that's why I'm laughing.
Right.
Okay. Michael Pritchard was a San Francisco comic who I never found him funny. I don't know what you felt, but he was a nice
Yeah.
guy, nice enough guy, but, I remember, I always like to tell the story about Michael Pritchard that we were in Union Square in San Francisco singing Christmas music. It was a money-raising thing, right?
Right.
And Pritchard is standing next to me, and when we're singing Going Through the Snow and a one-horse open sleigh and blah, 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 I can sing that. But when it comes to Old Little Town of Bethlehem, I'm a Jew. I'm not singing that.
Right.
I may be humming, but I'm not singing it.
Right. I got you.
And Pritchard had been this major alcoholic and always made a big deal about how he quit the booze and the hooch and all of that.
Right.
And he looks down at me as I'm humming Old Little Town of Bethlehem and says, "Oh, come on, Alex, sing. It couldn't hurt." And I look back up at him, and he's tall, and I said, "Hey, Michael, have a drink. Couldn't hurt."
Right.
That shut him up.
That's like I'm playing Vegas years ago.
Mhm.
And Slayton is playing another room in Vegas. And he comes to visit. And then he says to me, "Kravitz, you were a lot funnier on drugs."
That's Slayton.
That's the kind of encouragement you need.
That's the kind of encouragement you need. Well, as a Jew, I just couldn't sing A Little Town of Bethlehem. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's just
I
like Silent
felt if
Night.
I did, I'd burst into flames.
Right. Same with Silent Night.
Or maybe it was Silent Night. I think that was the song, actually. Silent
It might
Night.
have been.
Because it gets in the round yon virgin mother and
Right.
child, and I'm going, Jeez almighty, that's ridiculous. Hey, look, we just ran out of time.
Already?
Yeah, we do 25 minutes. I do more with you than anybody.
Really?
Because I enjoy it.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah. Do you get decent feedback on it?
Yeah, I do. And do I look well?
Yes.
Somebody last night said I look sick.
No.
No, okay.
Not at all.
I'm just trying to check and see how I'm doing.
No, you look as healthy as you've always
Hey,
looked.
listen, Steve Kravitz is going to be back with us next week, not because he wants to, but because I'm going to force him.
Okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and attractive Stephen Kravitz. Right over there. See him? See him? Bye.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well. Thank you, Steve Kravitz. We love having Steve on, as I always like to say. And I find him intelligent, and I find him funny, and I find him fun to talk to, and he's an old friend as well. So, anyway, and you're probably saying, well, where can I see him do his comedy? Yeah, nowhere. You know, we're at that point where we're just not doing that. By the way, I can adjust me in this frame, and I do it occasionally because I want to, look better here, okay? So what happens is I take me and watch me go down here. There we go. There we are. See? Isn't that much nicer? That's you don't have to know how the cow's killed. Okay. Anyway, it's time for me to now go to some of our callers, and we only have like about 3 people waiting online, which is about par for the course at the beginning of this, and then I they go get some other stuff going here, and we're okay. Let me admit the people who are here. As they start joining up, I will then go over to the, here, I got to change the view here. Do I really? Oh, to gallery? Son of a bitch. Occasionally I have to change things here. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. We got over there, that's Jeff. And down there, that's Alan. And down there, okay, that's Charlie. Let me tickle the top of Charlie's head.
Charlie looks so clear tonight.
Huh?
My new webcam.
Well, you know why?
I do know why, actually. I knew before you did.
Yeah, no, I knew because he said so on the chat. He said he got a new camera he's testing, and it's beautiful, Charlie.
Yeah, I knew it last night. Did you know it last night, Alex?
No.
That's what happened. Is my webcam died right in the middle of the show.
The new webcam?
This is brand new.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you got though? You've got a.
It froze up again.
Now
Charlie.
we'll get him to spend more money. He's got a Wi-Fi problem.
Yep, I would think so. He's replaced the computer, now the webcam, and he's frozen again.
Yeah, look at that. See, that's what happens. That's what happens when you get the new camera.
I don't understand it.
We were all going to do that so you'd feel better. Now you're fine. You know what it is? Now, are you on Wi-Fi or do you have a hard wire into your?
I'm on Wi-Fi, and it says I have a nice strong signal, and the only problem I have is with Zoom.
You know what it could be? It could have something to do with people in your neighborhood. You could be on what's called a hub. And this time of night, they're using it a lot. And so they're sucking from you as well and slowing you down.
Well, I'm in an apartment complex, so, I mean, there's people all around us.
Yeah. But, and you
So far, you've replaced your computer and your webcam and your internet router, and you still have the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's a brand new internet router.
Maybe the problem is you. Have you thought about replacing yourself?
Occasionally.
Yeah. And look, Scott Boddicker has joined us tonight. Gee, Scott, what a privilege.
Well, I heard you. I caught up on a bunch of old shows today.
Yeah.
From last week, and heard you kind of feeling down about lack of participation. So I thought, it must be time for Scott to come back in.
Scott's always good about things like that. You're very loyal, Scott. I appreciate it.
I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah.
Except you should have been here 3 months ago when he was complaining about the same thing.
Well, you know.
Always complaining.
Well, last night Bob Natale tried to call in, and as he was trying to call in, he was listening to the show, and I think what he heard was Tony, and the bad route this show took last night, because you shouldn't give that man any coffee.
He was on fire, man. I don't know what got in his bonnet, but woo.
But I mean, it wasn't good fire in his bonnet. You know, not like he suddenly became very lucid and started talking about really important things. No, it was like, my mom this, and I am going to her grave this weekend, and people are trying to talk about other stuff, and he was on a caffeine.
I almost
crazy high.
left.
Huh?
I almost left.
You almost left?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a little tired of it too.
It was Tony was over.
I almost left.
Yeah. You tried to get rid of him to shut up.
And you know, I like Tony, and I want him on the show, and of course he's married to Kathleen, as you all know. And
Congratulations! I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're married.
Okay.
She's in it. She's in it for the money.
You know what?
Yeah.
Huh?
If that was
Money in the
true, she would've
comic
married
books.
you.
The money.
The money in the comic books. That's a good combination. It's a killer combination, isn't it?
Totally.
He makes a ton on those comic books.
Oh, listen. You know, I like to think Tony is an idiot. All right? He ain't
But
no
he's
idiot.
not.
No,
No, he's
idiot.
not.
No. When,
He just overdoes the
no,
caffeine.
what he is he is he's not worldly. That's what he is, and we're mistaking stupid for not worldly. You know, I mean, he probably couldn't point out France on a map. Okay?
He never heard of friends.
He never heard of France.
That's right. That's funny.
But you know, but yet when it comes to selling comic books, man.
He probably knows every coffee growing region in the
No,
world.
but what I'm saying is this guy's probably got more butts than any of us here.
Yeah.
Combined.
Yeah.
All right? Because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So tonight, guess what's wrong with me tonight? I have a slight stomach ache.
Oh,
Gonadism.
It's all that coffee. That gonadism. That's it.
Yourself in the net.
That's your new favorite word, isn't it?
I said I'm going to use it for a month in a
I'm watching
sentence every
Fox
day.
yesterday. I'm watching Fox yesterday just to see what's up with Tucker Carlson. Haven't seen Tucker since I, did his show all the time. And so I turned over there, and he wasn't on, but a commercial was, and it was for low testosterone, and it said, better known as gonadism. And I went, this is a parody. This is a Saturday Night Live parody, okay? Because it can't possibly be that low testosterone, your testicles not giving out with enough juice, as it were, is hypogonadism. And then he comes back from the commercial, and I figure, it was just a parody or something he was running.
Alex,
Yeah.
what did they say cures that? I'm interested.
A good kick to the gonads.
Oh,
It's this new drug called Rochambeau.
Rochambeau, yeah. No, it's some kind of medicine or something you take, and it helps with gonadism.
You listen to Tony for a half hour.
Yeah, well, when it comes to my gonads, they up and went, so.
It's not mine. Mine fall in the toilet.
What?
Yeah, I almost got to pick them up, move them out of the way when I sit on the toilet. Otherwise, they're going to hit the water.
I knew, when I was working in Houston, Texas, there was a guy I knew who built a statue he put out in front of his house of a monkey with 2 brass balls.
Oh,
Sure.
no.
Okay? And he had it rigged so when it got below freezing, the testicles would fall into this big metal plate under him.
Oh, wow.
So you would know when, it was free. Literally, you were freezing your balls off because this clank happened on the statue. Funny. Oh, look who's calling tonight.
Yes, my hubby.
Your hubby.
Well, we were messaging today on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hopefully
you were messaging on Facebook. Today. Don't start with him on Facebook. He'll start sending you pictures of Scooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo.
Iced tea.
Iced tea.
No coffee for you tonight?
No, you got me all jazzed up. You're right about France.
I got you all jacked up.
Doesn't take much to wind me up. I want to be a good boy tonight, so
please be a good boy. Last night you scared away Bob Natale.
Who is Bob Natale? Oh, that was the guy from Jersey.
The guy we like better than you. Yeah. The guy we'd rather have on here better than you. But you chased him away.
Some of the other ones also on the show, I don't know if you heard the first 5 minutes of the show, Tony, said they were thinking about leaving. I won't name names.
I'll be a good boy.
Oh, yeah. Jeff said he was thinking of leaving last night. I was thinking of leaving. I was going nuts.
Like Alex, he'll burn anybody.
You should have cut me off.
You on coffee is a dangerous.
It is. I was up till 3 a.m. then. I watched the rest of the basketball game.
You know what I did last night to go to sleep? I have Albert's in visiting me, he and his wife, and they're staying here. And he always brings treats from Florida. He brings their cannabis products, okay? And what he brought was some cannabis-infused gummies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Sister
and now I got to tell you, lately I don't smoke pot because if I smoke too much of it, it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why, it just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Anxiety.
So I'm very careful. I take maybe one puff and that's it. And I many times I was taking that nice pill for a while, and I stopped taking it. I haven't taken it for a week, and to put me to sleep, I smoke a little bit of pot, just a puff, just enough to make me go off to La La Land. Well, he brought these infused gummies, these cannabis-infused gummies, and I took like a quarter of one last night, and I'm out like a light.
Oh, really? You went right to bed?
Yeah, it really put me to sleep. Don't you try it, Tony. We don't know how drugs will affect you.
I'm tempted to try it one time. My mother will probably.
Well, if you like coffee, you'll really like cocaine.
Really?
It would probably put him to sleep.
I'd love to see him on cocaine. No, we wouldn't.
Mama, I'm coming.
Jeff would not call the program again ever. Okay.
I would be afraid to take it.
We'd be afraid for you to take it too.
Yeah, I wouldn't really take any illicit drugs.
What's the worst drug you've ever done, Tony?
I've never really done drugs other than if the doctor gave me something, and I can't count going to a Metallica show and like inhaling like the pot because it gave me a headache. I had to eat Burger King after that.
Yeah,
like, I got hungry just sniffing.
No,
I had
it
didn't. I got to eat something. I got a headache.
Okay, cool it down.
Oh yeah, you're right. You get me all jazzed up.
Calm down. No, what happened? The reason you went to Burger King was because you were breathing in the pot.
I was hungry, Alex.
It makes you hungry. It makes you hungry. Pot makes you hungry.
Gives you the munchies.
I was going to go anyway, but I actually got another sandwich. I was like, I'm hungry.
We're discussing now the drugs that Tony has never taken. Okay.
Actually, I've never taken anything. My mother used to say, don't take any drugs or anything from strangers. Where am I going to go, Mom? Come on, will you?
Caffeine's a drug, Tony.
I don't know.
That's my vice.
If I were your parent, I would advise you that anytime some stranger comes up in a car and he asks you to get in, do. Okay. Just go away with it. He probably has candy, Tony.
Mine's black. Don't worry. Go. Trust him. He'll get sold.
And then a block later, he's out.
Yeah, exactly. Block later.
No. A block later, the guy will push him out of the car.
Yep.
How come we're making a circle? That looks like my house again. Get out.
And if that doesn't work, the guy that's driving the car has a noose to hang himself.
Take me to the police station.
Anyway, so you know, I finally decided we have to. I want Trump to get the presidency back.
Really?
Well, he gave us stuff to
nice.
talk about.
He's such a great guy. I mean, why would anybody not want him?
Well, I mean, the one thing you can't say about Trump is that he was boring.
No.
You know, if he went out and gave a speech, you sat there and watched it because you could sit there and make fun of it.
I like the way he said China, Gina.
China. Yeah.
My mother hated
He
it.
probably says China when he's talking about a vagina.
Yep.
Yeah. The Kung Fu flu.
China.
The Kung Fu flu. I was like, you wonder why these Chinamen are getting beat up here?
The Chinaman? The Chinaman?
Yeah.
Do you go into a restaurant and say, "Hello, Chinaman"?
No,
I want to buy
I
some
usually just
chinks.
sit-
What is
Hey,
this with
have
you,
the air
Tony?
conditioner on sometimes. Alex, I get to pick up the food the other
You
day.
don't use the word.
No air conditioner on. Come on already. Well, how they sit there with no heat air conditioner?
Oh, here he goes.
Fans
again.
blowing.
He's
I
not-
mean, come on,
It
give me my
wasn't-
shit
it wasn't-
already.
it wasn't even the coffee last night. I
No, it
don't
wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be good because I don't want nobody. to
Okay, shut up for the next 10 minutes.
You're right.
I know. I
I'm-
told Tony, Alex almost sent you to timeout.
Yeah, yeah. Either that or get you in that car with that guy with the candy.
But where's Robert Natali? We haven't seen him in a long time.
Well, he'd been writing a book, he said. But last night he thought he'd call in, and then he heard what was going on, and he decided, fuck that idea. You know. Tony scared him away. What the hell? Hello, John Larkin. How's everything in the Tenderloin? I mean, I don't mean that in any sexual way.
Hey, pretty good. You know, we were talking about the Mitchell brothers last night.
Yeah.
And I dug this picture up. Let me kind of cover it up because, let me see.
It's you and who's the woman? Who is the woman? Is she naked?
Yeah.
Yep.
And is that,
Yeah, that is.
is that
You
you?
know her, Alex. You interviewed
How
her.
much did that
Wait a
cost
minute, let
you?
me see here.
A Polaroid.
Wait a minute.
I used to
Who
have
is that?
one.
I can't really tell. I'm not very good at figuring that
Well,
out.
uncover the tits.
Oh, that
There we
one.
go.
Listen,
You know who it is?
Alex just wanted to see the
Alex,
tits.
you know who that is. You interviewed her many times.
I'm sure I did, but I'm trying to remember who she
Carolyn
is.
Chambers.
Remember,
Is
all
that
tits
Marilyn?
look alike.
Is that
That's
Marilyn?
Marilyn Chambers?
Yeah, that's
Really?
about 1987.
Yeah. Well, if
She signed it. Yeah.
if they're
Yeah.
if they're getting mad at us at YouTube over that,
Blame it on Tony.
those aren't really breasts; they're fake. Okay.
Yeah.
my mother.
They're Lee press
That's my
on.
mother. That's my-
Lee press on porno length.
Yeah.
Right.
Marilyn and I were going to start dating.
Wow.
She we got together once, and she started telling me, and she says, "Really, I'd like to go out with you and spend some time with you next time I'm in San Francisco." And I said, "Great, we'll do it." You know, because I always liked Marilyn, and she was terrific.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't a matter of having sex with Marilyn Chambers, although that might have happened. But it just that I liked her. She was a nice lady, and before she could get back up, she died.
What did she die of?
She just, I don't know what it was. It was something mysterious. Just happened all of a sudden.
He had a really
What's the
abusive husband.
testicle disease?
What?
Gonadism.
Her husband was really abusive to her and
What, are you?
ripped her off. And she really loved him and didn't leave. But
Wait a minute.
happens?
Which husband?
I guess the last one.
The last one?
Well, the one that she was married to when she died.
She wasn't. No, she wasn't married when she died.
Well, I read there was an article in
You're
the
not.
Daily
You're not
Beast.
thinking about Linda Lovelace's
No, no.
Yeah, I
ex-husband,
think that's-
There
because
was
she
an
married.
article-
She married Linda Lovelace's ex-husband,
Yeah.
Chuck Traynor, who I knew quite well. And
He was a bad guy. He abused her. You know.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. Chuck did have something he could do. He could hypnotize them.
Really?
Yeah, and he had them in his power through hypnosis. Now, if he had them in his power through hypnosis, he probably had no reason to beat them, to submit to his way, as it were. But Linda dumped him because Hugh Hefner convinced her that she should dump him, and he dumped her. She dumped him, and he immediately went out and picked up on Carolyn Chambers.
Charlie.
And Carolyn was kind of a robot.
You need a sign like this.
When I knew her at the summer, I was going to go over to Charlie. I see his hand. Okay. Yes, Charlie.
Carolyn Chambers, according to Google, died from complications of heart disease.
Yeah.
Shit. How old was she?
56.
Yep. Young.
Yeah, nice looking home.
Yeah, that is young.
Yeah.
Jeez, I only got a few years left.
Yeah,
I died 15 years ago.
Oh, you didn't have the same brack that she has.
there was I read an article last year in the Daily Beast about the end of her life, and it was the article kind of portrayed it as sort of a sad ending. You know?
she didn't have any money.
Yeah.
She was
and they kind of
No
blamed
wonder
it on
she
her
wanted to date you,
ex-husband.
Alex.
Yeah, I could have been husband number 3.
Yeah, or 4.
Anyway, other than that, the tenderloin's the same.
You look different
Yeah.
there, John.
Good fast internet.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
Are you rubbing it into Charlie?
Thanks a lot.
Now, Charlie, do you have more than one supplier for internet if you want another one instead of the one you've got?
Yeah, but according to them, I've got a incredible signal. It's nice, strong signal. I don't have any trouble with YouTube or movies or Netflix or HBO Max or anything. Those go fine.
You know, somebody, it doesn't need, your internet connection doesn't even have a sense of humor, because when you started going through that, it should have started breaking up. You know.
Yeah.
But it did.
You know, Charlie wears the coolest T-shirts.
I got nothing else to do. I'm retired.
And resistance is not futile, and that is let's see, that's an ohm, right?
Yes, resistance.
That's resistance equals
Voltage divided by current.
But how is that
divided by current?
Okay.
Because you know, in Star Trek, they always kept saying, the Borg always kept saying resistance is futile.
Is not. Yep.
It's not futile. Yeah.
The Borg.
The Borg.
Borg, remember?
So Alex, you know all about this stuff. The resistance and volts and current. What is the formula called?
What?
What is the formula called for resistance, voltage, and amps?
Hey, I just know how to stick these wires together.
It's called Ohm's law.
Oh, okay.
Ohm's law.
Okay.
Who's he?
Is that right, Jeff?
You guys are correct.
Yeah. Some of us people that went to school
Ohm on the range.
for engineering.
Yep, ohm on the range.
Where the bolts go.
Charlie's the best.
They have a new home on the range. If you live in the Tenderloin, it's Homo on the range.
Oh, now we're getting gay people mad at us.
No, not at all.
And I've always had a good reputation in the gay community.
No,
I give one hell of a blowjob. No.
You give one or get one?
He said give.
Oh, he gives one hell of a blowjob. There you go. Take the dentures out and gum them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody tonight I was mentioning Michael Pritchard, and somebody on our our chat room said that Michael Pritchard, he's right, was the big guy who danced with Judd Hirsch on Taxi at a gay bar episode.
Oh, I love that.
Do you remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Taxi
was Michael
was
Pritchard
hilarious.
who was dancing with him, which had to be very funny because Pritchard was this big, huge guy, you know.
It would have been funnier with Danny DeVito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where Danny DeVito played his boyfriend.
So anyway, our president today was on his way to Europe because he's given a whole bunch of speeches over there, and he's going to the the G7 now? You never can tell. Sometimes it's the G8.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the V8, which is all these juices blended together. But anyway, he was going there and he got attacked by a cicada.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see that?
Yeah.
Where was the Secret Service when you needed
Well,
them?
no. As soon as the cicada attacked him, he went like this. It fell, and they tackled it to the ground.
Right on. Surprised they didn't open fire with machine guns and kill it.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so but he laughed about it. He laughed it all off. But I'm sure over at MSNBC they were saying how well he handled the whole situation, and I'm sure over at Fox they were saying, "Oh, look at him! What a wimp! Look at how he handled that situation. He was terrible."
Well, the
He should
cicada
have
would
been
have
carrying
never.
a ping pong racket.
Yeah.
Right. The cicada would have never gone after Trump. They just don't eat their own.
Okay. All
I think
right.
the more important thing
Yeah.
was that he's giving millions of these pills
He's giving
Injections.
500
to
million.
other countries.
500 million. And
Doses.
for a while there, we couldn't get any. But do you know what's happening? Some of those pills that I think he's going to give away are the ones that are running out of time.
Could be.
There's expiration date. They're not pills, but the shot
Shot.
Yeah.
are hitting their
Yeah.
expiration date.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
So am I, by the way. But the
Expired or fucked up?
no.
No, that they're almost expired.
Yeah.
Oh, almost expired.
Yeah.
Use them quick.
But anyway, and then he went over and he gave a speech at in front of some soldiers, I think. And, yeah, and he's going to be over there, and then he's going to talk to Putin next week. He claims he's going to read him the Riot Act.
No, he's not.
You don't think so?
Nope. I think that he wants support from Putin. And Putin basically doesn't need Trump anymore. You know, he was Putin's puppet for 4 years. Now he doesn't. I mean, Putin's not stupid. He used Trump. Trump bought into it. Trump's gone. And now it's time for Putin to move on. He's not an idiot.
Well, he's got to deal with Biden, and Biden doesn't like the idea that, you know, that all these ransomware things are happening from Russia. You know?
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know that the government can stop a lot of that, you know.
The Russian government?
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, if Putin doesn't want something going on in Russia, it doesn't go on in Russia.
Somebody could be writing it here, and the government would take months. They'd assign it to the FBI. It'd take a year before they found the person. Although I gotta say,
they know who they are.
Oh,
They know
okay.
exactly who they are.
Oh, okay.
You know, and there are two groups actually, and their names for them. I can't remember the names right now, and they know who they are. Because there are certain things in coding these things, these ransomware things, that seem to be like fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Isn't that what it is? A digital fingerprint.
yeah. By the way, hello to Mr. Neary. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah,
How's everybody?
I'll start eating now.
fine. How have you been? You get to our show a little late now, I think, because the sun is still up when we start the show, and you want to get out there and see some of it.
Yeah, I've been working a little bit late. Some of the projects are all coming at around the same time, so try to get out and get some exercise, play a little basketball in the house. So,
Well, you've also got that China project going, right?
Yeah, and they're starting to get trained. So that, and then India is doing training right now in the morning, and yeah, everything is starting
And then
to.
by the evening, they're all dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm dead. Yeah, one guy, he wakes up like at 3 o'clock for a meeting.
Well,
in
here's
the
the
morning.
thing. Here's the thing.
Crazy.
Marjorie works for the Chinese, so she goes to work at 6 in the morning and works till about 3 in the afternoon. The reason is that at 6 in the morning is 6 at night in China.
Yeah.
And if she were to like go there and work till 5, like 9 to 5, she'd never be able to deal with any of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's, you probably have to do the same thing.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the no travel stuff. So here we have the machines. They have the machines actually set up right because we gave them a drawing where to put everything, and they have engineers there, so they're going through all of our qualification reports.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it is tribal knowledge. From a startup, we didn't document a lot of this stuff. So
Yeah.
but now they have the machine, and they actually made parts. They made parts last week, and we got the parts. They have a couple small issues, and we're working those out. So that's the stuff we wish we could be there to, go through the stuff. But it's amazing how much stuff they're doing. And China's right behind them. They're starting to get stuff done too. So.
Well, you can go to China. There's just one problem.
Yeah.
Before you can even go outdoors, you have to be indoors for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that happens with the Marjorie's guys. A lot of them used to work out of Beijing or go to Beijing regularly because that's where the company is headquartered. And now they don't go because they're going to have to sequester themselves for two weeks. So
how are you doing with your man?
The nice part of it is, after you spend those 2 weeks, you get a free dinner at the Wuhan market.
And a bat sandwich.
Bat sandwich, yeah.
A bat sandwich. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But they, in Vietnam when I went, they have all the sparrows, those little birds.
Yeah.
Sparrows. They have those on a stick that they barbecue and all this weird stuff. And I'm like, no thanks.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Isn't that what PETA's for? The group PETA?
They don't have PETA.
People eating tasty animals. No, that's not what it's.
Not in Vietnam. They don't have PETA in Vietnam.
Well, that was humor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, everybody else laughs about it, not this group.
Yeah.
Now that's funny.
That is funny.
I wonder what
That's gonadism.
Hey, Boddicker is on here. What's up, Scott?
Hey,
Yeah,
how's it going?
did you see it?
Hey, you just noticed that, huh?
I know. Well, at nighttime, I've seen him on the afternoon show Mondays. So.
Well, he's on
a
the.
lot at night, but I quit when the group got too big and Tony was talking too much.
Yeah, and Phil kind of scared you away too.
Yeah, that was a big factor too. I almost forgot about that.
You used to get really irritated at listening to him, so it wasn't good for your health.
No.
But this group is kind of copacetic, don't you think? As long as we keep Tony from talking. Because once he starts up,
Oh. Message Tony. That's when you can't keep up.
Oh.
Because I will message Tony. And I love Tony. I message Tony, and then I get in my car and I start driving. And by the time I'm stopped, he's got like 20 messages all the way down.
What Tony hasn't learned is that you write a message and then that's it. You don't write a message in 5 different messages.
Yeah, that's how I. Yeah.
Because at least in my case, because my watch here is set so that every time I get a Facebook message from somebody, it buzzes my wrist and goes ding. So now Tony starts writing something, and then it's buzz ding, buzz ding, buzz ding, buzz ding. I couldn't get him to stop doing it, so I finally banned him from Facebook. He can't message me on Facebook anymore.
Well, today, my dad goes, when we get a chance, can we sit down? I go, well, let's sit down now because in an hour I'm going to be on Alex's show. And he goes, well, what are you doing now? And I go, I'm messaging my husband. And my dad goes, what? And I go, yeah, Dad, I'm married. He goes, who is this guy? And I go, oh, his name's Tony. And he's really nice and he's smart. And he's a nerd like me. And he's never done drugs or he's never done drugs or drank. And my dad goes,
well, I did drink.
Why don't you marry him? And I go, Dad, it's a joke. And Tony's in the Bronx in New York.
Queens, yeah.
Queens.
I drink when
Tell your daddy's got $1 million worth of comics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my son. I told my son, when we go to New York, who do you want to see first, Alex or Tony? And he goes, Tony.
No.
Both my son and I have comic book collections, so my son he's like 10,000. How do you get 10,000? I said, well, you start really young.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Shecky has a good bunch of comics, doesn't he? He has a good collection.
Yeah, he has quite a few.
You know what he has? What Shecky has that he never talks about. I should talk to him about it next time.
He has a couple of other nice things. I'd rather have him say that.
No,
I like.
he collected baseball cards.
Yeah, he got into the
And
cards,
he supposedly has a baseball card collection worth a fortune.
Wow.
But you know what he has that's really nice? I guess I can say, because I don't like to talk about other people's collectibles. He has original artwork that I got into now.
Oh, yeah.
Raw stuff. I will never sell that. Like, I have some stuff, like, signed and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he figures, I asked him once,
stuff.
how much do you think this stuff is worth? And he says, I don't think it's worth much of anything, because it's just original artwork they did signed.
Well,
You know, it's not the actual comic book artwork or anything like that.
Oh, no, he actually has a sketch of, like, some artwork, actually original from the artist. If you go next time, here's him to show it to you. He has a couple of nice pieces.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, original artwork and stuff like that is really, you can't even put a price on it, really. You really can't.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. Well, I've got.
It's like comic books. You can put a price on it.
Yeah, I've only got 3 things here that fall in that category. One is a Mickey Mouse animation cell
You were saying
of
that.
a commercial that Mickey Mouse did in Europe for Fanta.
And it's one of a kind then, right?
Oh, I remember.
You remember that? Somebody gave it to me. Then somebody
Ren and
also
Stimpy.
gave me something else.
Ren and Stimpy.
Anybody remember we'll get to Ren and Stimpy. Anybody remember the Frito Bandito?
Yeah, you were saying.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was created and animated by Tex Avery, one of the greatest animators of all time. And I have a animation cell over here, the Frito Bandito. And then finally, I have a very nice little pencil drawing done by the people at Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, that's nice.
With a kind of a personal message to me. And I think it was signed by 2 people. I think one of them was Chris Falusi, the guy who produced the show, created the show. But you know, that's the sum total of my art, you know, in that respect. Because I never collected that kind of stuff.
Alex, did you meet any famous artists like when you were in New York? Like, did you ever interview anybody on the show? I was gonna ask
Well,
you.
you're gonna actually probably for the first time in your life when I tell you this, jerk off.
Or probably might.
Yeah.
Who
I
is
got
it?
a cool photo.
I hosted the Stanley years ago asked me if I would host the comic book awards show. And they used to get together once a year and give out awards to each other. And that evening, I think I met every well-known,
You probably were in the same room as
legendary
Jack Kirby.
cartoon. I think Kirby was there.
Oh, I would've
I
went nuts
know
over
that. What's his name? The guy who did Batman. Bob Kane.
Well, Shecky says he didn't do him, Bob Kane. He was really the other guy.
But Bob Kane, nevertheless, was the guy.
I still would have
that
liked
was
to have him
considered
also.
the guy that did Batman.
God, you could just imagine that in that room. I would have went nuts. I wouldn't have went right over to
Also,
Kirby.
some of the younger guys who are now older guys who were doing Superman and stuff like that. I mean, you would have had an orgasm if you were in the room with all these people.
I would have did anything if you would have got me in that.
And it was completely wasted on me because I didn't care that much about comic books.
That would have been like
I never collected them when I was a kid. But I did like Batman, so I was impressed by beating Bob Kane and God, who was that other guy? He became very famous later on. He was a kid at the time. But anyway, I emceed that show. I remember it. But it meant nothing to me.
And you said Stan was very nice, Alex. He's very.
Stan and I were friends.
He seemed like you were saying. He seems like he's very like a genuine type guy. At least
He was
always did
he
that.
was very amiable. There's some question about his contribution, to comics, but certainly the fact that he put Marvel on the map is enough to give him credibility. But everybody would like to say that Jack Kirby was really the inspiration behind most of that stuff, but Stan never drew any of that stuff. Stan was the writer who wrote the balloons. You know, so Kirby was the guy that did all the actual cartoons.
Yeah, I would have went nuts over Kirby. I would have went right over to him. Well, I've been embarrassed, but I would have tried to get
Jack Kirby was a brilliant
Oh
man.
yeah.
But anyway.
Forget it. I mean, I would have went crazy. I would have actually get me an autograph of y'all. Let me get in to see Jack just for 5 minutes.
Let's see here. Steve Lasser-Schoen, who probably is Oscar Levant, said maybe Robert Natali heard the fat guy. Oh, now you're the fat guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Alan will always be the bobblehead guy for me.
And I heard the fat guy say that George Moscone was in the mafia, with the fat guy's only reason for saying this was because he was Italian. That's right. He paid you pretty well on this.
I have no problem.
You know, and not all people that are Italian are in the mob. Like for instance, Tony's Italian, right, Tony?
Alex, my mother, she was never in the mob.
No, I know your mother wasn't in the mob, but
My
you're
father was never in the mob.
Italian. You're Italian,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, we don't get that stereotype. I'm not gonna lie. You know, my mom used to say my dad's
Will you
brother,
just
but-
shut up and let me ask you the question?
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna start rattling again. Go ahead.
You're Italian. Have you ever known anybody in the mob?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Not in my family. Okay. But when my aunt passed away, the one you made me cry, I don't know if this is true. Okay. But one of her tenants upstairs, I don't want to say his name, but I think she always thought he was connected somehow. I'm
asking you, is there anybody
But
in your
no, nobody in my
family that
family,
was
no,
in the
no,
mob?
nobody in the-
And there's,
nobody
it's a
in
very
the family
simple.
here is
Hey,
connected.
Tony,
No.
very simple. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now on to other things.
Yeah.
I love the aunt that made him cry. I love the reference.
That was my aunt, yeah. So
Forever.
But then again, she always was she was crazy, my aunt Fran. She always thought anybody who was like, you think he's connected? I remember I was like, you're crazy. They used to go
I
to
make a big mistake. I
gypsies
bring
and
him
shit.
into the conversation.
Yeah, you can't do it. But can I say one thing? And then when my grandmother passed away.
One thing? I bet it's going to be 20 things, just like your posts to me. Go ahead. Yes.
Well, when the one you made me cry with, my Aunt Fran, my godmother, when their mom passed away in the late 70s, they actually had one of those, what do they call those ladies who come to the house and they put the tarot readers, right?
Yeah.
And she was into spiritualists. She wanted to talk to her mother again. She came to the house. She was into all this stuff.
Where is this all coming from? I just asked you for a simple yes or no, and I'm getting like a whole thesis on Italian
you're right. I don't know where
culture.
that came from. It was on my mind again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
I grew up in an all-Italian neighborhood. I grew up in North Beach in San Francisco, which now then became very Chinese, but it was very much an Italian neighborhood. So Italian that I would go to my friend's house, and you go to the basement, and you smell grapes because they had these big vats. Every Italian basement had a big vat where they made wine. Yeah, Brian.
On the news, it was Pride Month this month, and on the news, the gay, the whole LGB, all the letters, that group, the Castro district, they are complaining now because too many straights are moving in. They see too many families walking around. So the news, they did a big thing on them.
Really,
Yeah,
too many
because the Castro's turning straight.
Whoever said that the Castro had to be gay?
Exactly. Well,
the only reason it became gay is because that's where the bathhouses were, and that's where AIDS got very virulent.
But these old white fat guys stand around naked now, like over on the corner there, and they piss off all the yuppies,
I got to tell you,
that's where I saw you before, John.
What's that fair they hold in San Francisco? Fulton Street Fair, is that it?
Folsom, yeah.
Folsom Street Fair. And it's nothing but gay guys. I swear to you, folks.
No, there's a lot of S&M people.
Well,
in chat. They're all in chat.
Well, wait a minute. But here's what I was going to say: is you go down there for this thing, and everybody's like gay pride and all of that, and they're wearing these assless chaps.
Yeah.
And it's not like guys with cute asses either. It's big hairy butts.
Yeah, but there's a lot of sexy women that show
gotta
up
get
too in
rid.
leathers, and I go, but just to watch the women. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like a perv, you know. I got my little camera out.
Yeah.
Little secret
I mean,
little
I don't.
photo.
I really. You know. I mean, it's.
Alex,
What?
you mentioned S&M. Does that stand for stand and model?
What?
Spaniards and Mexicans. What is S&M?
S&M is sadomasochism.
Yeah.
For people that like to get spanked and whipped and hung upside down. And
Oh.
Or you like being. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
I'll leave it at
Oh.
that.
they're into pain.
Oh,
They like pain.
look at the background for Ray Renati tonight.
What is he got?
I remember that guy. I remember
Who is
that guy.
Who is that guy?
I know that
He's
guy.
The
That-
best cocksucker in San Francisco.
Oh, shut up. Will you please?
That guy
You
wouldn't talk to
said
me.
it earlier.
That guy's an ass. He wouldn't talk to me. He's very stuck up.
Who?
Oh.
Alex?
The guy in the background, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the when you were on 9th Street.
The flip.
Yeah. Well, that was my live 105 photo.
Yeah, on 9th when you were on 9th Street by the.
That was on the billboards.
Huh? That was on the billboard. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 9th Street?
When the studio was on 9th
Quake.
Street.
It was on 9th Street. Yeah, it was when we were
Quake.
on 9th Street. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're at on 9th Street. There's
It's where the Cadillac Bar and Grill is now. It's like between Mission and Market.
Yeah. Well, I had about 200 billboards with that picture on it all over San Francisco.
I had some friends that lived on 9th Street. But
I got
don't
so
remember
sick
it.
of looking at
I
myself.
was gonna say,
Ninth
could you
Street
get on the
is-
subconscious?
Ninth Street is
Like,
almost-
There I am again.
It's almost to Van Ness. Van Ness, it's like
No,
9th.
it
and
stops
then-
at Market.
Yeah, and then Van Ness is the next street over. Or,
Yeah.
No, 2 streets.
Let's see, what kind of numbers are we getting with giving directions in San Francisco? We
Next
lost
to
one
8th Street.
person.
I think everybody wants to see you in your assless chaps. Did I get that
I got
right?
that one, too.
Assless chaps?
I don't think that would
Say
be
that 5 times.
something you'd want to see.
No, probably not.
You know, I really don't.
Tony's Googling it right now, and he's going to get some.
I'm actually reading the LeBron.
I had to call in when you were talking about the Italians. I'm an Italian.
You're an Italian, aren't you? I don't think of you as Italian, but Renati is very Italian.
Yeah, I'm almost all Italian.
Do you know?
Same here.
Do you know? Really? Do you know that the two of you can go to Italy and immediately buy property and are automatically citizens because
I
you,
know.
And
You have to
and-
like show a modicum of Italian fluency, just a little bit.
no,
And
not
if you
even
have
fluency. Not even fluency.
No,
It-
no, no. I mean, you just have to know a few words like basic, and then as long as your grandparents were Italian, you're in.
My grandma's.
Yeah, as long as it can go back, your family tree can go back to Italy like 5 generations, 10
Yeah.
generations. They don't care, just as long
Yeah.
as your family tree goes back to Italy, in which case you can go to Italy tomorrow, buy property, get a passport, Italian passport,
Yeah.
immediate citizenship, and you're an American Italian, right? You were born and raised here,
Right.
right?
But one of my
Same thing with you,
grandparents was
Tony.
born-
In fact, why don't you
Yeah, my
start?
grandmother goes
Why
to-
don't you start packing right now?
We're going
Same
we're
family.
going on the 25th, and I've already told Katie I'm going to try to get
Really?
my passport, my Euro
Hey.
passport through Italy.
Yeah.
Alex is sending your stepdad back to Italy. That's not nice. What are we gonna do?
So far the show has 3 Jews and 3 Italians.
Yeah.
And a shiksa.
That means we're all like self-flagellating, neurotic, religiously just screwed up people.
I think
gonadism.
everybody's been on Folsom Street lately with those words.
Yeah, but my question is, Scott, what's your background?
It's German, both sides.
German.
That's
both
why he's
sides.
so mellow and even keeled.
Yeah.
I think it's the bourbon that he's mellow
And Kathleen, you're if I remember, you're like Nordic or something.
Totally. Uns ja.
He's a Viking.
6'4" woman, blonde like that. What do you think?
She's a Viking stock.
I go to Sweden. When I go to Sweden for work, Yeah, when I go to work here in Sunnyvale, they're all Asian and they're like this tall. Then I go to Sweden, they're all tall blondes. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But you're
What about Larkin? What is he? Is he Jewish? Is he Italian?
Irish.
Okay.
Irish.
Well, actually,
No ways.
Bringing back to Castro for a minute, in San Francisco in the 50s, it was a big Irish neighborhood.
It was.
Yeah, that's right.
Charlie, what's your background?
He's Jewish, can't you tell? And Italian.
There are black Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
Haven't you heard of Sephardic Jews?
Yes.
Yeah, they're black Jews. Yeah, but
we'll let Charlie answer though.
Charlie, do you have any other background though besides say? Oh, you're
muted, Charlie.
You're muted, Charlie.
Oh, we lost Charlie.
Unmute yourself.
Charlie, you're gonna have to move to the Android.
I don't know how I got muted. I didn't mute me.
Well,
Alex did.
no, I didn't mute him. No.
Yes, I have Scottish in my background.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I thought you looked Scottish.
Have you ever met people from Hawaii and asked them what their background was, and they're like 12 different things? Well, I'm part Scottish, part black, part American Indian. I'm part
Polynesian.
Polynesian. I mean, 12 different things.
We're all African, okay?
Yeah, really.
Go back far enough.
Well, you go back far enough, we are all African. Absolutely. Yep.
Some of us just spent not enough time in the damn sun. That's about the only difference.
Actually, my heritage is Neanderthal. So, by the way, interesting. You always hear about Neanderthals, especially when we're referring to Tony.
Stop picking on Tony.
But
Yeah.
do you realize that regular man existed at the same time as the Neanderthals?
Yeah.
And they mated.
Yes.
Well, they didn't mate. I think they may have, but do you
They
know?
did. We have some, yeah.
Yeah, we have genes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and ergo Tony. But anyway, the thing was that the Neanderthals disappeared because they didn't have a social structure. And they got pushed to the ocean, basically, and that's where they completely died out. But they had no social structure, so they didn't maintain the Neanderthal, and eventually they were taken over by the I guess Europeans or whoever was there at the time, the non-Neanderthals.
Yep.
And
So
the Neanderthals died because of lack of
sapiens.
social.
Homo sapiens.
Huh?
They're called the Homo sapiens.
Well, I
That's us.
think the Neanderthals were Homo sapiens.
No,
weren't
they were
they?
Homo.
No, we're Homo sapien.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
we're Homo
And
sapiens.
the Neanderthals were Homo Neanderthalans or something. But
Homo
then there was also
erectus.
The Homo
Homo
Dennis Erectus.
That's my
Dennis,
favorite.
just-
Oh, Dennis
Dennis
Erectus.
Erectus?
Whatever happened to Dennis
Yeah.
Erectus?
And
I
there's
love
Homo
that guy.
erectus. Yeah.
I still have a KOME sticker.
Yeah, the cum spot. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sit and make donuts all night at a donut shop and listen to Dennis Erectus.
Yes.
Yes, Alan.
So, talking about all this, where we're from, if we're from monkeys, how come they're still monkeys?
Well, it doesn't mean monkeys are going to go away because they didn't split off.
Oh, okay.
To
Yeah.
begin with, we are not descended from monkeys, from
No,
apes.
we're not.
We are of the same lineage as apes. We have some of the same commonality, but we're not apes. I mean, didn't come from apes.
Now you got Tony all confused.
No,
Planet of the Apes.
No.
Now he's back.
Tony's just desiring.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that
Tony's
movie.
just desiring a banana. Okay.
Yep.
It's a great animal.
Yeah, but
Banana
I often
pancakes.
found that amazing that
Mushy
that
good.
Homo sapiens existed at the same time as the Neanderthals, and they actually pushed them into the ocean, pushed them right to the bottom of the
mean.
continent. Yeah, I mean, they didn't go in there and drown, but I'm saying they went down there because they had no social structure. They died off just from a lack of social structure. So
Poor the things.
let that be a lesson to America.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we do have a social structure. We've got Facebook and we've got Twitter. Yeah, right.
I could be extinct. I'm right next to the ocean. And I'm big.
Yeah. Let's go to the beach. Right.
Yeah, no, let's not.
Yeah, but I always found that amazing because I always thought Neanderthals like existed, when all those things like dinosaurs and so on.
Yeah.
They always have in movies hanging out with human beings. And the fact was, they never existed when humans were around. They were gone before they were gone before humans even appeared. Am I right, Ray?
Yes, and they were here many, many hundreds of thousands of years longer than we've been here.
Right.
We're like a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of time they were here.
And they
we almost ended up at the end of the earth if Trump had got another 4 years.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, no, but the other thing was with the reason why they disappeared was because of the meteor that hit the earth.
That's the theory, yeah.
And killed off all those, and then that started a whole new world in which then man came into existence and so on. I mean, it's amazing how long this planet has been around.
Yep.
And that you can go back several billion years.
Yeah,
4.5 billion
or something.
4.5
Oh my
billion?
God,
Yeah.
Dennis Erectus died in 2012 from a heart attack.
He was a porn star, right?
No, he was
How old was he?
He was a disc jockey. He was
He was my competitor in San Francisco, but he could never catch up.
But he was at nighttime.
No, but
I
think he did. They tried to put him on during the day, and it didn't
for
work.
a little while, but he flunked out. And then they put him back on Friday and Saturday nights.
He was in San Francisco, right?
No, he was
San
Jose.
KOME.
Yep.
Oh,
KOME, which their
radio.
The
cum spot on your dial.
cum spot on your
Right
dial.
next to KOCK, the cock.
KSJO. 92.3. The cock.
Why is it the filthiest person here tonight is the woman?
Boy.
Oh boy. Well, I think
She's turning beat red again. She's a little embarrassed.
Oh,
look I found this article. It says before there was Howard Stern, there was Dennis Erectus.
Maybe they're related.
anyway.
Dennis got an erection.
You could say Alex Bennett, not Howard Stern.
Well, no. The point was that they were both on the same station.
Exactly.
And the reason why CBS bought Live 105 was to get rid of me to make get the coast clear for Howard Stern to come into San Francisco.
That sucks.
Frickin' Howard Stern.
What?
Next time I see him, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Give him Tony's address.
Tell him to call Tony.
We'll get the mafioso on it.
Anyway, hey, listen, that's it. I got to get out of here because the next show wants to come on and do whatever they do. I don't know. Some show.
We have a good time.
We got
Charlie.
We got Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
You almost left tonight too, huh?
I held up.
You held up. You really did.
Because I was here.
Yes.
Very strong.
Alan, thank you. Scott, we love having you here. Call more, will you? I just like seeing you there, knowing you're there. Kathleen, love the fact that you call a lot and that we're still talking to each other after all these years. That shows what a wonderful person I am. John Larkin, thank you, Tony, thank you, Brian, and of course Ray Renati, and the lovely and attractive Charlie Wallace.
Ray.
Yeah. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, folks. There they go. That's our citizen panel for tonight. There's another citizen panel that'll be forming next on the intersection with Jack Bishop. You'll use Skype for that, and you'll call GabNet Live. That's the ID you use. I'll be back again tomorrow night. 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, get vaccinated, will you? Okay? If you're not already. And if you're not vaccinated, wear a mask. See you tomorrow night. Bye, everybody. Bye, bye, bye.